Hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. Today I've decided to have a nice little wild camp all by myself, a little solo, a little bit overdue. I've been looking forward to this one for a little while. Been very busy boy. Had a cracking weekend as well on quad bikes with the boys and grass karting and all sorts. And I just want a little wind down now. But I decided I'm going to cook a curry tonight. I do love a curry. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know I like a curry. Something a little bit different though. We're going to find and harvest some pignuts. Pignuts live under the ground. They are, oh, bumblebee, easy mate, easy. They're kind of like the truffles of the carrot family, which I'll go into a little bit more detail shortly. But we've got to find pignuts first, and luckily I do know where they are. I'm in a woodland right now that belongs to the farmer up the road, Chris, and I'm allowed to dig these up. I'm allowed to have a little root around and dig them up. Now you should really get permission from the landowner before you start digging up any kind of plant anyway. So we're going to have a little look around. Luckily around me there are tons of pignuts, and I can already see them by my feet here, and I'll show you in just a second. And there's a lot more further on. They take a few years to get to a decent size. I'm in an ancient woodland here, which is fantastic. Only very small one. You can hear the road over there, but it means it's been here for a very long time and they're very well established. So I'm going to start rooting around in a second, show you how to identify them, see if we can find a decent sized one. I'm going to dig up about sort of 8, something like that, 8 to 10, nice handful, and I'm going to put that in a curry with probably some ramson, which is the wild garlic, probably some nettle and a bit of chicken. Let's go. There's a whole ton of different things I can talk about, but we're going to try and hone in on the pignuts. Now we're looking for these leaves here. These really feathery, dainty little leaves. Let me just pluck one for you and just show you. Very feathery, very light, very dainty. Now at the moment there's no flowers on these. These are very small. Here's another one. If I move further along, we've got a whole bunch of them here. Look at all this. Another thing about this plant is it never really grows any sort of higher than sort of elbow to wrist, you know. It's a short little plant with a small little white, delicate flower. So here's a nice one here. For me personally, I like to look for the thicker stems. You still want them at this age, this stage, because all of the energy is in the nut, which is what we're looking for under the ground here. We're looking for the nut, or the tuber, which lives about 2 inches below the base of the stem in the ground, and we have to very carefully look for it and follow the stem down. If you break the nut away from the stem and you think you found it, leave it. Only eat it if it's attached, because then you know you are getting a pig nut. And there's a whole carpet of them down here. Now over here, this is more like what they look like as they age, as they get older. You see the difference? Look at that. If I compare it to a younger one, you see the difference? In here we can see these here. These are bluebells on their way. Wood anemone, not edible, but loads going on in here. And there we go. In amongst it all, see what I mean? You start to get used to it. There is your pignut. Lesser celandine here. This is another edible, especially the roots. In amongst this, there we go. Wild garlic. We'll be taking some of this. Absolutely. Let's see if there's any buds. Here we go, little buds. Check these out. You can pickle these little guys. I might put some of these in the curry today, to be honest. Might even eat that. Lovely. And lo and behold, you starting to recognise them yet? Oh, and in here we've got a hogweed shoot. This is how you want to eat them. Almost like asparagus, but a slightly different flavour. These are a delicacy. You can get these in top restaurants. So you don't want to pick them as they get bigger and older. You want to eat them when they're like this. Absolute treat. Find a bit of butter with some garlic, a bit of salt. Bum bum bum. Here we go again. You seeing it? You spotting it? There's loads around here. So let's get some out. Okay, that'll do. Simple little tool, kind of flat, a bit like a screwdriver. It'll get us under there, hopefully without damaging the stem or the root down to the nut. Just clear it out of the way. This is the one we're going for, okay? Now usually they're quite close to the surface, a couple of inches. This one's going down. He's testing me. Let's see if we can get... Usually, as well, they suddenly shoot off at a little right angle. That's when you know you're very close to the nut. Right by a tree root as well. I think that's what's causing the problem here. Ah, this is what you don't want to do. It's probably worth showing you anyway. I've broken this one, so even if I do dig down and find the nut now, I won't eat it, just in case I've got another root or tuber from another plant that's more dangerous, so I can't risk it. Ah, yes. There we go. There we go. Right. That's a tiny little one. That's a tiny one, but we've got one. We've got one. Go to focus. So that's our first pig nut. Tiny little thing. So as you can see, it's attached to the leaf, which is part of the identification. Always make sure it's still attached, and then you know you haven't got something you shouldn't. I'm going to put that one away. So I've been working on this one here. Followed the shoot all the way down. You can see, here it is. You can see how it's attached. And there we go. There we go. There's our pig nut. There we go. Look. Ta-da! Look at that one. Whoa, yeah, look at that one. That's a beast. Yes. That's a good one. Size of that. Yes. Yeah. Oh, look at this one. Look at that. Pignuts everywhere. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. There we go. A nice handful of tubers of pig nuts. Future Jamie here, jumping back into my video after I edited it a few weeks back because I'd left out some important information, so I thought I'd come back into the woods now, kind of just finish the video off a little bit. Pignuts are part of a very dangerous family, the Apiaceae family, or the carrot family. There's quite a lot of different plants in that family, hemlock being one of the worst, one of the most dangerous. The baddest dude on the planet is hemlock water dropwort, certainly in the UK. Absolutely deadly, very, very dangerous plant. Again, part of the carrot family. But I just want to quickly show you, just so you know, because for me personally, pignuts are very obviously different to hemlock, but I don't want anyone to make a stupid mistake. If you were to dig up the wrong thing, for instance hemlock, you would find tubers that look like parsnips. Very different. They're not little round, knobbly, nut-looking things. This is what a pignut looks like, and a pignut plant, full grown pretty much. And this is what hemlock looks like, which can get massive. It's very hard to get it wrong, to be honest. Just don't cross-reference everything. Very, very careful when you first start doing these things. So if I just quickly show you, since I was last here, the pignuts have actually shot up. In the video I was showing you how the leaves change as they age, so you'll see that now in some of the older ones. So I'm going to show you some of the pignuts now a few weeks later, and you can see they've sprung up, got all lanky, the flowers are starting to develop, and the leaves are very spindly, a lot like fennel, which looks very different to how they did. So this is what we had been looking at in the last video, which you're in the middle of watching at the moment. This here is a pignut, and there's the flowers developing. It's all very, very small, but look at the leaves, look at these spiky little things. Very different. And if you were to dig this out, you'd find the pignut. There it is, tiny little pignut on the end. Okay, and here's your plant. Hopefully you can see that nice and clearly. Very wispy, very light, delicate little thing. And a fair bit different to how they start out. Some wild garlic, we'll grab some of that. That'll go quite nicely in the curry. And I'll probably get some nettles as well in a minute. Nettles are so good for you. I'll do a video on that soon. But yeah, trust me, amazing. Go look it up, go check nettles out online. I'm going to be spending a bit of time this year looking into it a bit more and actually making some things, producing some things, even my own capsules. Every day I can have a couple of nettle capsules. Very, very healthy indeed. So just a little handful. You don't need much of this stuff. People forget just how garlicky and sort of oniony it is, and it can be very overpowering. So that should be good. This is going to be absolutely covered in bluebells soon. You can see them all. So in here we've got nettles. Now I like nettles that are out the way so dogs haven't peed on them. We want the younger tops. So that's going to be good. Chuck them there. So there's our nettles, that'll do. Crush them up, I'll sort the hairs out for you. Ooh, sweaty. The beginning of spring, and look at it. And it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh, sweaty. We're here, so I'm gonna set up my hammock, make sure everything's ready, get some wood prepped, and then, maybe a beer first. These ones here, Tiny Rebel Tropica, my favourites, hands down my favourites. Love them. Perfect beer for a hot day. Oh, cheers guys. Right, welcome back. I've set up my hammock and I'm just going to get a fire going now, but before I do, I need to prep these little pig nuts. I'm going to show you what I do to prep them. So here they are. We've got quite a little bounty here. Basically they're quite easy. You just use your nail and you scrape away. As you can see, it starts to expose the flesh. Now usually when they first come out of the ground is the best time to do it because they're quite wet still. Once they start drying, the skin gets a little harder to peel. But it shouldn't take you long. You just go around it like this. And obviously you might get little bits of mud in there and things like that. Don't worry about it too much. It all gets cooked. So now these taste, if you've ever had like quite a young hazelnut, a raw hazelnut, they taste sweet, crunchy, creamy. It's just like a really tasty nut, but fresh out of the ground. I'm happy with that. So there we go. I'm just going to work my way through these now, one at a time, until they basically look like this. So here they are, all with the pig nuts sorted out. Just going to chop up some of the garlic, quite small. We've got our nettles here, which I've swished around in some water as well. There's no more sting in them. I'm going to remove some of the stalky bits. With nettles, really, even before you sort of bash them around or put them over a fire or cook them, you can kind of touch them with your fingertips anyway. Your fingertips are tougher than you think. But if you brush them against your arm, it's different story. Okay, I'm going to leave the nettles like this, almost like spinach. So that's the prep sorted now with the little foraged bits. I've got a bit of chicken with me, which I've already cooked actually. I'm going to get the fire going now, and once we've got a nice heat and a few coals, I can start cooking. To be honest, it might be dark when I do start cooking, but either way, who cares? Join me. Bought a couple of pouches. That's what you get. You start it off with this, then you add this as the main bit. Got my chicken, and I've got my forage bits. I'm just going to start with this base sauce, chuck it in with the pig nuts. So I've got my pig nuts in there. with some of the curry paste. There's our chicken and our pig nuts in the Goan curry paste. Let's get this Goan curry popping. Wow, this is a fiery hot Goan curry. Look at that, it's already looking like a proper curry. Alright, let's get it on. Lovely. Right, time for the nettles stalks in there, so we need to give them a bit of time to soften up. Right, that's the wild garlic in there. The rice is almost ready. Let's get the garlic bread on. Right, just going to do a quick flip and let it. There we go. Oh yes! Oh yes! This is going to be delish. So there we go, a spicy Goan curry with chicken, pig nut, nettle and wild garlic. Over here we've got a nice greasy bread with loads of garlic on it. Yes, let's go. Cheers. Oh, the nettle's really good as well. And these pig nuts are great. They're like big chickpeas almost, but slightly crunchy. Worked really well with a curry. Very good. Happy boy. There we go, so there's a little pig nut in there. Awesome. Oh, lovely. Really good.
My fingers